Welcome to my Scrappin space. I'm Joni Martin. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator located in Southwest Wisconsin, and I'm here to show you a really pretty card made with the Everyday Happiness paper pack. What do you say we get my face out of the way and we start creating? Have you seen the Everyday Happiness paper pack? Everyday Happiness is a scrapbook kit available from Stampin' Up. It's a great kit. It has a lot of die cuts and other things in it. But you can also get just the paper pack by itself. I love this paper pack. I'm not sure if it's like, you can't go wrong with the plaid, of course, and those pretty little flowers, but it's also the colors. I really like this color palette. So I'm using actually just one of the papers today in the card. But the other thing I'm using that's also part of that card, the scrapbook kit that you can purchase separately, is the two-tone paper. So I grabbed the Lost Lagoon two-tone paper, different color on each side, just a different tone rather. It's still Lost Lagoon, but it has a white core, which lets you do a couple extra things with it, which I'll show you as I make this card. The other thing I used in here is a die that is leaving called Magnolia Mood, and I just wanted to use that pretty die one more time, and I'll show you how I use that with the print paper. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do some die cutting and some embossing, and then we'll go from there. And we'll put our pretty card up here. I'm going to grab my machine, and let's emboss first. So when we emboss, I'm just grabbing my embossing folder. We want to use, here we go. I picked up, you should never do that. No, I can't find anything. So I'm going to use Cute Crochet. You could use any overall embossing folder. This is the one I've just been using more lately and really like it. And of course it was one of those when it came out, I thought, I don't know if I even like that one. Do I need that one? Yeah, what do I know? And I'm going to use plates 1 and 4. So when I get an embossing folder, I put the name on it and the plates, meaning what I'm going to run through the machine with it. We always use plate 1. And in the Stampin' Up system, that's kind of your base plate. It's the thick one. And then, remember I showed you it had a dark side and a light side, hence the name two-tone. I'm going to use the dark side. So the side I want to see will be up. That's the color I'll see, or the tone I'll see under the Stampin' Up logo, which is on top. Folds here. I'm going to put that on plate 1 because we always want a plate on top. And so plate 4, which is the other plate in the recipe, will go on top. And we're just going to run that through. And I'm slowing down because I'm really close to my camera stand and I don't want to hit that. So this paper embossed beautifully. Look at the texture we got on that. We're going to set that aside. And then we're going to do a quick die cut. And I grabbed the largest die from Magnolia Mood. As items go on the last chance list, sometimes they have some great sales on them. But when they're gone, they're gone. And I really like this die and just wanted a chance to use it one more time. So there we go. And the paper I'm using from the Everyday Happiness paper pack is this one. It's a watercolor, kind of a water wash of wild wheat with a touch of white in it. And then it has that plaid I love on the back. But for this card, I'm going to show the wild wheat side. And I'm just going to set down my die. Now, when I die cut, I'm using plates 1, 2, and 2 of the number 3 plates. 1 under my die and 1 on top of my die. Like so. Then we're going to run it through. Just like that. And I'm going to back up my machine again because I don't want to hit that camera stand. Okay, we can put our machine away. And we have our embossed paper. And we have our die cut. Get all this out of the way. This die has a lot of cut lines in it, which can make it a little harder to get out of here. But I'm going to grab my Take Your Pick tool, and I'm going to start with the tiniest holes. Those are called release holes, And if I start there, it will kind of loosen it up. There we go. And the Designer Series paper takes dies really well, but it also, because I think they're a little thinner than cardstock, they sometimes stick to your die, especially when you have this many cut lines in it. Lots of places for it to catch. So I'm being very gentle as I pull it back. And as you get more, it will come off easier as you kind of pull more of it away. It's a beautiful die. And I'm glad I can use it one more time before it disappears from our catalog. Now, before I use this again, see all that paper that's in there? I will clean it. I'm not going to stop and do that on camera, but I'm just going to, when I go to clean it, I'm just going to use my Take Your Pick tool and see, just poke those out. Okay, let's clear away some of this stuff. And then I just kind of do this, and what I'm doing is I'm looking for anything that should still pop out that didn't. And this one is a little tougher in that there's so many just cut lines. They aren't supposed to come out. They're just supposed to add dimension to it. And so you just want to make sure that you have all of it. But I think we did. All right. Now let's talk about this two-tone paper. I'm going to lightly sand it to show the white core underneath. You could use sanding paper or nail file. I'm using, I'm not even sure what you call these things. Back when I used to do my own nails, I had it left from there. And side 1 always has the greatest grit, or will take off more, and side 4 is just smooth. So that kind of helps. I'm going to actually use side 1. And I'm sorry, this probably doesn't sound great on camera, but I am just lightly, I don't want to lose the fact that I have Lost Lagoon paper here. But I am just lightly sanding it. And of course, if you were using sanding paper that had a heavier grit, it would take more off. So you have to kind of play with it. But this is easier for me to hold on to. So there we go. Now I want to kind of play up that white. So I have a white mat that I'm going to attach it to. And I'm going to use my multi-purpose glue. That will let me move it around. That will hold really tight to this embossed surface. There we go. Notice I didn't get too far close to the edge, too far out. Because when I push this down, that glue is going to spread, and I don't want it to spread to the front of the card here. So then we're just going to lay that here, like so. I'm going to push it down though, because I do want the whole card front to stay down. And sometimes with an embossed surface, it's actually easier for me to kind of push from the back. Now, we have this oh so pretty, and look at, that's almost all you need for your card. I did pop it up, and as I'm looking at this, I see some little holes here that could probably come out. Let's grab a Take Your Pick tool. There we go. Because the more you can show of that Lost Lagoon coming through, it just adds more interest, and it kind of shows off all the details. So there we go. Those little openings wanted to hang around with the card. Sorry, you're not included. All right, now I'm going to, and for this, I'm grabbing our mini, but you could use any. You could cut our dimensionals apart. The mini ones are just smaller, and I can get more on here where they won't be seen because I don't want them in the opening. And they come off of the paper sticky on one side. And I'm kind of just putting them where there's not a lot of open work. But I'm being pretty generous with them because I really want the whole piece to stand up from the card. So let's look a few more maybe. This is a card that will go together really easily. You could make multiples of them. You could do it in different prints. And you could use any kind of overall die. But like I said, I just wanted to use this one more time before it left, before it was permanently gone from our Stampin' Up collection. And then we're going to take the backings off, and they're really clingy, staticky. And so you want to contain them, or else they're going to land, they're going to stick to your clothes and your shoes, and they're going to land in your car, and in your living room, everywhere. So there we go. So I just have a little jar I put them in to make sure they all go in one place. And then I just kind of centered it on here. And we're going to put this, I love these two colors together. This is Lost Lagoon and Pretty Peacock. Pretty Peacock is a great, it's in our Regal color family. And it really is Regal. Let's give that a nice, really tight, good fold. Okay. Then this is going on here. And I'm doing flat paper to flat paper, meaning neither of these are embossed. So I can grab a tape runner. It's just quick. Holds really well. I use Seal Plus, but Seal also would work. I just like the Seal Plus better. It's a little stronger. And that's going to go there. Look how that kind of comes together. So the white of your mat is picking up the white here and the white there. These two colors love to be together, but I felt like it needed one more thing. So I grabbed some bling. And we have a bling called Petal Pink and Pretty Peacock Foiled Gems. Let's look at those. So I keep my embellishments in our stamp cases. I think they come 4 to a pack. It just helps contain the loose pieces. As you can tell, I have lots of the Pretty Pink left. So I've used the Pretty Peacock on other projects, but they're all in one place and they're not going to get jammed up with other embellishments. And these are in 2 sizes, and I'm going to use the smaller one. I felt like that gold also kind of picked up that wild wheat color. Now, when we're adding embellishments to a card, I typically do 3. An odd number is always more pleasing. And I do them in a roughly triangular shape, which just means one of the embellishments is hanging out by itself, and the other 2 are closer together. Just like that. Excuse me, there's our card front. This could be a variety of cards. I'm in need of birthday cards, so I grabbed the stamp set called Loveliest Tree. If you've been around Stampin' Up, probably longer, you know, quite a while, there was another tree that was like the longest lasting stamp set in the catalog, and it finally left us, and then this came back as, you know, kind of a homage to that. But look at the sentiments in here. Thank you, sending heartfelt sympathy, happy birthday, congratulations. You know, really, any of those could work inside this card. I need birthday, so I stamped happy birthday in the Pretty Peacock. And I have a little strip of the paper we use there to add to the top. So if you put this in here, that looks nice, that's great. But look what happens when we add just a scrap of paper you were probably going to throw out anyway. It's a 1/2 inch strip. And I'm going to put just a touch of the multi-purpose glue there. And then we're going to put this here. So, like so. And while we're gluing, you and I both know, we're not sending this beautiful card out in a naked envelope. So I have another strip of paper, of that same paper, and we're going to put it just on the envelope flap. So I'm going to fold the envelope flap back, and I'm putting my glue around the outside, all the way around. What I don't want to do is leave a gap where a postal machine could grab it and rip it, and yes. So then, all the way around the outside of there, I'm going to do that. This piece, the reason I folded it back and this is flat, it's going to be easier for me to attach this paper and get it where I want it, because I can now push kind of against the back of this, the body of the envelope. There we go. All we're going to do now is a little trimming. I'm going to grab my snips. I tend to leave them a little longer because they act like handles. It's easier for me to use, but you could cut them if you wanted to the length of your card insert. And now this one, we're just going to trim around the outside. This is an easy thing to do, but it adds a lot of impact. When someone goes to their mail and maybe it's their birthday and we hope they have lots of birthday cards in the mail, this one will stand out. It's not in just a basic boring envelope. They're going to know something special is on the inside. Okay, so we will attach this to the inside. And again, just a little bit of tape runner will work. And that's going to go right here. What a difference that little scrap of paper you probably would have thrown away makes in the sense of the whole card. It brings the front of the card to the inside, and then we're going to send it in this beautiful envelope. Like, look at that. The envelope was supposed to go with the card. How easy was that? Thanks for watching. I appreciate it more than you know. If you liked what you saw, please share it with your crafty friends. Until next time, take care and keep crafting. It's good.